obviously Rosie, Michigan University.
Yeah.
How did all the video stuff work over there? Did you find it useful?
There was a lot of video.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we filmed everything that we did, which was really useful because it means we could go through both training sessions and games.
Yeah.
And all the teams filmed all their games, so we also did a lot of scouting. So basically before every game, we would have at least probably 2 video sessions a week. One video session where we would kind of watch the other team and see how they played and watch their press, pick out any key players. And then also, obviously, penalty corners, attack and defence. And we would kind of look at what they're doing and what the best way to go against that was. Video makes it really easy to kind of see little tweaks that you can make that you maybe don't really realise in real time.
Yeah.
And also making sure that you can adjust your press or outlets so you can find the gaps and see what you can do differently next time. So I'm mostly a defender. I was trying to play more and trying to learn how to play more in midfield. So it helped me massively when I was trying to make that transition as to kind of what runs I should make.
The decision-making aspect of it, because you can almost get this like bird's eye view of things as if you're watching from the stands. Mm-hmm. It makes it a lot easier to think, oh, I definitely should have made that decision, or I could have done something else there, or actually, I've actually taken the right option.
Yeah.
So, a view of the whole game. When you're on the pitch, you can't see the whole picture, but actually you need to be able to understand the space around you and the opportunities around you a bit better. And having that view, after the game enables you to try and put that into practice in the next scenario that you face. So that's what I think it can be really useful
You
for.
often realise that you actually have a lot more time than you think you do when you're on the ball or you're receiving it.
Do a lot of the same things as Rosie was talking about. We'd film all of our games. Our training sessions were usually filmed, but we wouldn't often have clips from that. Because I think, especially at university, playing Wednesday and Saturday, you've got enough clips from gameplay that you don't need to necessarily analyse training as well. We do scouting reports, as Rosie was talking about, looking at how oppositions play, their corners, their press, how we can best combat all of those sorts of things. And then, a lot of looking at our own performances. Our coach was really good at Notts. He would also do like a little bit of individual feedback. So he'd clip up, 1 or 2 things that you did throughout the game where you had an impact on play. And then he'd send that to you individually and say, I think this was a really good decision, or you could have done this here maybe next time. You could have chosen a different route. So I think that stuff is really helpful. Especially I find the individual feedback. You can directly work on your game.
So if you're a player my age, what should I and other people be sort of looking out for when we're watching those videos back?
Maybe where the space is, and if you thought that you made the right pass, because it's also important to look at what you actually did do well. So you could see if you made the right pass or you're in the right space, or if there was potentially a better option. Like if you have an overload in some area of the field that you didn't necessarily see during the game, you can look back and see, oh, actually, I could have done that. And then so next time you didn't necessarily see it in the game, but you can look out for that next time.
The cameras nowadays are getting so good that you can do more technical analysis. So doing something in practice versus doing it in a game can often be completely different. So you might trap every ball in training, but you mistrap one in the game because the pressure's on. So having that feedback from the cameras, you can look at, well, what's the reason I mistrapped that? Have I got my technique wrong? You can actually see exactly what you're doing and where you can fix your mistakes. So the technical as much as the tactical, I think. Is
like a lot of people when they're learning to do like aerials or drag flicks, they'll just get a really close-in camera and like film yourself, and then sometimes it can feel like kind of awkward when you're first doing it, but as you get used to it, you're not watching yourself. You're like trying to pick out the details, and you can do that for both yours, and then you can find someone who's actually really good at it. So like Yibby Jansen, you could go and must be videos online of her, and you can go and analyse hers, and then you can compare it to yours. Usually
you'll get access to the footage yourself. So actually, even if your coach doesn't say, well, this is all your individual clips. You can go through and watch the game and be like, okay, I was on the ball here. What did I do? What could I have done?
Yeah.
So I think that's a really good thing, especially for juniors. You know, we're talking about you starting to use video, is actually going back and watching your own games.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds pretty easy, but not many people do it.
No, yeah.
And that can be a really big advantage that you have over other players your age.
Had it at the Talent Academy Festival in Nottingham this year. So that was a new thing for me.
Did you find it useful?
I did, yeah. We always, every evening we had a team meeting, watching them back, seeing the highlights and how we can also develop as a team.
What did you take from it individually?
Well, from individually, I like seeing my goals. that was always a bonus. Seeing your goals back, but then also making, because I'm a forward, seeing your runs, like your leads outwards, inwards from when the midfielder on the ball, just seeing all your movements basically.
Yeah. You talk about like looking at your runs that you're making. That's another thing I always notice when I'm watching video back is like, am I leading at full speed? Or because a lot of the time, you know, you make a run, but actually you're sort of going 75%.
Jogging, yeah.
But actually, you know, coaches will always tell you that in a game, if you're going to run for the ball, you've got to go full pelt.
Exactly, yeah.
But it's amazing to see how many times, like, the game is fast and it's tiring, but how many times that people make a run for the ball and it's not at full speed and then they just get caught up.
Defense, when you're marking, it's you think you're really close man-to-man marking, and actually there's like
not,
2 feet between you.
Yeah.
But you talked about getting to see your goals. There was always a highlight in my season that you couldn't do without video analysis, but you never actually think about it. Our coaches would make like a highlight video of some like really good plays and goals and like just some celebrations, and it was always great fun to watch back.